Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I have to say, what a result! 87.4% for our leader, Pierre Poilievre. What a mandate to go forward with.
Oui, bonjour tout le monde, bon matin. Quel résultat extraordinaire pour Pierre Poilievre hier soir, 87,4%. On est tous très fiers et ça nous permet de débuter cette journée d'une façon fantastique.
Good morning, delegates, colleagues, and friends. Welcome back to the floor as we begin our final day here at the 2026 Conservative Party of Canada Convention. Over the past few days, we've come together from every corner of the country to share ideas, debate respectfully, and recommit ourselves to the values that unite us as Conservatives: freedom, responsibility, hard work, and putting Canadians first. We'll begin this morning with a member of our caucus who has been a strong and consistent advocate for Conservative principles, both inside Parliament and across this great nation. She has shown conviction and a willingness to speak up for Canadians when it matters the most.
Nous commencerons ce matin avec une membre de notre caucus qui a été une des défenseurs solides et constantes des principes conservateurs, tant à l'intérieur du Parlement qu'aux quatre coins du pays. Elle a fait preuve de conviction et n'a jamais hésité à prendre la parole pour défendre les Canadiens lorsque cela comptait le plus. Let's get started. Please join us in welcoming Leslie Lewis.
Welcome to Calgary! Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. What a night, what a conference. Thank you so much for having me. It has been a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We, as Conservatives, have come together to demonstrate our unity and our strength. We are a united party with the right plan and the right vision for the future. From Vancouver Island to Newfoundland, Conservatives have come together to fight for a brighter future, one where communities are safe, not abandoned. A country where hard work is rewarded and not punished, and where families can afford homes instead of hearing excuses. We believe in a Canada that helps people rise, not a system that traps them in dependency. A Canada that responds to addiction with compassion and care, treatment and hope, not policies that keep people trapped in despair and harm. A Canada that is strong and free and bows to no nation. A Canada that can once again build things, build homes, build cars, build infrastructure, and build opportunity. A Canada that can generate wealth and create opportunities for Canadians clear across this great nation. A Canada where families can plan, build and stay and retire in dignity right here at home in this great land. It is with this vision that I say, we are the party of Canada. We are the party of growth, not stagnation. The party of optimism, not managed pessimism. The party of hope, not government demanding that you give more and expect less for your future. And that is exactly why the Liberal Party and Mark Carney are so desperate to divide us. They know something very simple. A united Conservative Party wins elections. In the last election, we made real progress. We earned the trust of Canadians who never before considered themselves conservatives. Neighborhoods and towns that had never voted blue before were filled with blue signs and new voices of hope. Volunteers knocked on doors and met with many Canadians. People who told us that for the first time, they recognize the same values that they hold dear in this Conservative Party. And in my own riding of Haldeman Norfolk, I spoke to so many young people and union workers who told me plainly that the Liberal Party no longer represents them. They fight for insiders, for elites, for the well-connected. Not the working Canadian. The average Canadian trying to get ahead needs our party to stand up and fight for them. So, these people have turned to us for hope. They've turned to Conservatives, and they will be staying with us. But our work is not finished. Unity is not something that we just declare. It is something that we build. We must build on the success of the last election under the leadership of the Honourable Pierre Poilievre. We must continue to grow our beautiful, loving Conservative family. Our leader has delivered a united vision by speaking clearly to Canadians, leading seriously. Our leader's vision is built on resilience, hard work, and a shared Conservative Canadian purpose. It is a safe vision that demonstrates to struggling Canadians across this great nation that the dream of Canada belongs to them. Our vision for this country is one that is practical, secure, thoughtful, and safe. A Canada that is safe at home and respected abroad, bowing to no foreign nation. A united Canada that can stand up for itself on the global stage. And if the Liberals choose to force an unnecessary early election, we will be ready. Ready because we have the right vision for this country. And Canada desperately needs the Honourable Pierre Poilievre to become the next Prime Minister of this great nation. Under Pierre's leadership, that vision becomes a plan that says that young people deserve the same chance as their parents to dream, to work, to earn a reliable income, and one day to own their own home. It is leadership that understands that children should be safe to grow up, safe to play on the streets, and safe to dream. Canadians should feel safe to invest in their future right here at home. It is leadership that respects your values, your faith, and your freedom, not just as something to be tolerated, but as Canadian values that unite and strengthen our nation. And it is with the leadership of the Honourable Pierre Poilievre that so many Canadians have hope. Hope that our great nation of Canada will once again carry itself with the strength and dignity and purpose, respected and prosperous at home, and confident on the world stage. That is the country that Pierre Poilievre is fighting for. And united, that is the country that we will all build and rise together. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much again. And thank you to Leslyn Lewis. What a woman, right? The moral compass of our party. I just love that lady. Thank you, Leslyn. The work that you do for both this party and this nation does not go unnoticed. Now, it's our great honor to introduce Robert Boyd and the First Lady of our party, Anna Polyev, whose husband just got 87.4%. Who, through the Maple Leaf Awards, will be recognizing some of you, some of our incredible volunteers. Please join me in welcoming Robert Boyd to the stage.
Veuillez accueillir Robert Boyd sur scène afin de souligner le travail de certains de nos formidables bénévoles dans le cadre des prix Feuilles d'érable. Robert.
Oh, you're there. Salut.
Welcome to Calgary.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The Maple Leaf Awards is our way of thanking our committed volunteers who contribute to the success of our EDAs and our candidates across the country. This year, we received around twice as many nominations for the Maple Leaf Awards as last time, and the committee would like to thank everyone who put forward a nomination for the various categories. To help me present the awards, I'd like you to please give a warm welcome to Anna Polyev.
Thank you. Amazing results. Our first category is the Special Recognition Awards, named in honor of former National Councillor Kara Johnson. Would like to call up Mario Catenaccio. L'apport et le dévouement indéfectible de Mario tout au long de la campagne, ainsi que sa volonté d'aider où cela était nécessaire, ont fait de lui un atout précieux pour l'ACE conservatrice de King Vaughan. Thank you, Mario.
But your husband calls him Super Mario.
Sorry, I got his name wrong. It's Super Mario, according to Pierre.
We'd also like to recognize Pam Duggan. Pam doesn't just excel as a volunteer, she brings out the best of everyone she works with in Battle River Crowfoot, showing what true leadership and teamwork really look like. What stands out most for her is her humility. She works tirelessly, always focused on the bigger picture and never on recognition. But today, we're going to recognize her. Thanks, Pam. Some of the Special Recognition Award winners were not able to make it to the convention this weekend, but they're watching from home. We'd like to take a moment to recognize those people. Mark Dotzert, Shirley Ford, and Christopher Ackerman.
Congratulations, Mark, Shirley, and Christopher. We look forward to seeing you soon. Félicitations, Mark, Shirley, et Christopher. Nous avons hâte de vous voir bientôt. The next two awards are awarded to conservatives whose long-standing service to our party are being recognized after they passed away. Les deux prix suivants sont décernés à des membres de la famille conservatrice dont le service de longue date au sein de notre parti sont reconnus après leur décès.
Sylvia Poirier served for 3 terms as a national councillor representing Prince Edward Island. For over 40 years, she was one of PEI's most committed and energetic champions of the Conservative movement. Through her upbringing, she developed a dedication to public service that shaped her extensive involvement in both federal and provincial politics. Her positivity, kindness, and tireless work ethic was a welcome presence in campaign offices, town halls, and boardrooms. And even in her final year, she remained active, helping organize the Charlottetown EDA's last 2 fundraising dinners ahead of the 2025 federal election. Please welcome her daughter, Mary Beth Mulligan, to the stage to accept the award.
Jim Stinson was a former EDA president from Selkirk Interlake Eastman in Manitoba, who was a legendary grassroots leader and lived a life of service and citizenship forever to be admired. Would like to welcome MP James Bazin to the stage to accept the award. We will now move on to other award categories. Nous allons maintenant passer aux autres catégories de prix.
As we continue to see across Canada, young people are resonating with Pierre's message of a more hopeful future and turning to the Conservative Party. That is why I am pleased to announce that Josh Wharton is the recipient of the 2026 Outstanding Youth Award.
Congratulations. Une bonne partie de notre implication politique se déroule en ligne. L'expertise numérique est essentielle à toute campagne. Grâce à son style visuel distinctif, caractérisé par des vidéos cinématographiques, des photographies méticuleuses et des récits captivants, il a redéfini la façon de mobiliser, d'informer et d'inspirer sans jamais dépenser un seul dollar en publicité payante. Félicitations à Christian Genet qui a remporté le prix du bénévole exceptionnel dans le domaine des médias numériques.
Through each of his posts, he highlights the beauty of Quebec, the dignity of local work, and the shared strength of our shared conservative values. Congratulations, Christian. Over the past couple of years, the Conservative presence on campuses across Canada has grown exponentially. We are honored to announce that Matt McFarlane has won the Outstanding Campus President Award.
Matt leads the Dalhousie Conservative Club, which is one of the largest and most active conservative campus clubs in Canada. As a leader, Matt embodies the qualities of teamwork, inclusivity, and relationship building. Il n'est pas facile de s'afficher en tant que conservateur sur un campus universitaire, mais Matt nous a montré qu'il était possible avec courtoisie, compassion et fierté. Congratulations, Matt.
Growing our movement is critical to winning the next election. Our best volunteers meet and work with the many communities of new Canadians who share our values to make sure they become a part of our party. Alice Tang from the riding of Richmond Centre-Marpole is a great example of this, and I'd like to congratulate her for winning the Outstanding Outreach Volunteer Award. See you later.
The Party Builder EDA Award is given to the EDA that has transferred the most funds to other EDAs since the previous national convention. The winner this year is Thornhill. Please welcome Deputy Leader Melissa Lensman and Thornhill EDA President Sarah Navy to accept the award.
I saw you some pictures yesterday.
So we're going to take some photos. So let's, The Irving Gersting Award for Outstanding Fundraising Volunteer is awarded to recognize the person who has provided consistent service in raising donations needed to win elections. This year, the award goes to Barbara Orvitz. Barbara is the campaign chair for Melissa Lansman and serves as the vice president of the Thornhill EDA. She is also an entrepreneur and active in many causes throughout the Greater Toronto area.
With over 60 individual fundraisers, she raised over $1.5 million for Thornhill, as well as close to $1 million for the national campaign. Thanks to Barbara, Thornhill was the biggest contributor, assisting other ridings across the country. She had a scheduling conflict, but her daughter, Kira, is here to accept her award. One of the biggest responsibilities at the local level is that of financial agent. This year, the Outstanding Financial Agent Award goes to Judy Blackstock from Saskatoon University. Her dedication, precision, and professionalism have set the standard of financial agents across Saskatchewan. She's also developed clear practical systems that help board members and volunteers understand their financial responsibilities. En tant qu'agente financière pour 6 associations de circonscription électorale et de nombreuses campagnes, Judy ne se contente pas de faire son travail. Elle inspire tous ceux qui l'entourent par son intégrité, son sens de l'organisation et son leadership serein.
The Doug Finley Award for Outstanding Campaign Management this year goes to Jonathan Stathakos, who managed last year's campaign for Ned Couric in Hamilton East, Stony Creek. As the campaign manager, he directed busloads of volunteers from across the region, door-knocked the entirety of the riding several times, and focused on clear communication with constituents outside of our traditional base and brought them into the fold. All that hard work paid off when the seat flipped to the Conservative column for the first time. Congratulations, Jonathan.
I am honored to present the David McPherson Award for Outstanding Volunteer. Linda Law, can you please join me on stage? Linda Law has been one of the most dependable and effective Conservative volunteers in Alberta. Her steady work connecting and supporting ridings across northern Alberta has made her an essential part of the organization and one of its most trusted volunteers. Linda Law incarne le meilleur en ce qui a trait le bénévolat. Elle est pragmatique, fiable et axée sur les résultats. Elle ne recherche pas la gloire, mais son travail a un impact durable sur l'organisation et sur les personnes qui comptent sur elle pour assurer le bon fonctionnement des opérations.
Finally, we want to recognize the Outstanding EDA President Award. Ralph Week, can you please join me on stage? During Ralph's time as EDA President for Skeena-Bulkley Valley, he solved issues with tact and discernment. He was instrumental in flipping one of BC's largest riding to the Conservative column for the first time in our modern party's history with the election of Ellis Ross. The local volunteers describe him as someone who is compassionate and kind, who would go the extra mile beyond his duties and responsibilities to the EDA. Ralph is relentless and tireless in his support and energy for the entire Conservative movement across his massive riding. And in an area of the country where character counts, those who know him say he is a man of integrity and honesty. Congratulations, Ralph.
Before we move on to the policy plenary session, I'd like to take a few minutes to recognize and honor some members of the Conservative family whom we have lost since the last time we gathered. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a moment to recognize... Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize... And yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to take a moment to recognize and have a moment of silence for the 18th Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney, a great man and a great Prime Minister.
That was so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful again for our First Lady, Anna Polyev, who does that with such beauty and grace. Thank you, Robert, and thank you, Anna. Okay, we will now move into the policy plenary sessions.
Pour nous guider tout au long des séances plénières à venir, nous avons le plaisir de vous présenter nos présidents de séance. Veuillez vous joindre à nous pour leur souhaiter la bienvenue. To guide us through the Constitution plenary session ahead, we are pleased to introduce our plenary chairs. Please join us in welcoming, as your chair, Catherine Marshall and Rob Batterson. Mike Wilson will be your parliamentarian. Morning, Rob.
It's so good to see you. Welcome to Calgary. Good to see you.
Hello.
Great to see you. Yes, I'm so glad it's you. You're tough. I know it's going to be all be good. I don't know.
Good cop, bad cop.
Exactly. They're just going to reset the stage for you. Okay. All right. Have a lot of fun. Get this done. Okay, it's going to come on the telephone.
Okay. I have good old-fashioned paper.
Okay, perfect. I know I've been sure I need paper.
So they're going to sit us down. They're redoing the stage.
Oh, they're going to set us up. Okay, good.
Where is one?
Is there like reset the stage? So there's just a reset.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Guy. I am from Lumi Global. I am your voting systems for the plenary session. I'm here. Hello. There you go. Hi, everybody. I am Guy. I'm with Lumi Global. I am in charge of your voting systems that you'll be using today. I am going to just give you guys a quick demo of how these are used. We're also going to do a test vote, just so we can kind of get all the bugs out. So for this device, hello, there you go. Sorry guys, I'm not used to really being on stage, so this is not really my thing. Thank you. So I'm just going to quickly do a quick demo of the device, and then we're going to do a test vote. With this test vote, if you're having issues, please raise your hand nice and high. A volunteer or one of my teammates will come and help you out. So with these devices, when the vote opens, you will have your card chip facing you, and it will show your province will be at the top. And then when the vote opens, you will select either 1 for 2 for against, or you can use the scroll wheel that's in the center. You can also cancel your vote with the red button. If you cancel your vote and you re-vote, this last vote that you have on there is the vote that is registered. So if you select something by accident, you can cancel it. But as long as you know that your last vote is the one that's registered, you cannot vote twice. It's just registered once. So if we can just open up this test vote, just so we can kind of go over this real quick. There you go. The vote is now open. So as you can see, you could choose either for and against. If you are having any difficulties, please raise your hand and someone will come and help you out. So the vote will stay open as long as the chairs have decided is the length of time. They will look in the crowd, they will see if there's a bunch of hands up, they won't close it. It is up to their choice. Right now, we have a question at the yes mic.
Mine is showing not registered to vote.
Just go back to the table back at the doors and they'll give you a proper card. And now during the lunch hour, once we go to lunch, you can leave your devices on the table. The cards will stay with you. The way I like to think about it is that the card is your ballot, the machine is your ballot box. So if you guys are having difficulties and it just seems to be struggling, you can ask someone beside you if you can borrow their device. So the votes are registered to the card, not the device. Just looking around the room. Yeah, so like I said earlier, the device is just your ballot box. Card is your ballot. You can always borrow the device from someone else to do your vote. Seeing a few hands down in the corner over there. I have a few in the front by stage right. Yeah, I know you were there. I just wanted to make sure I get some.
No, which I appreciate, absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, All right, that should be enough time for this. There will be more votes. If you do have difficulties, please raise your hand. Sorry, I'm going to get better at this eventually. But I'm going to close the vote. Just waiting for the vote to close before I show results. All right, the vote is now closed. May we see the results? $67 for, 32% against. May we see the provincial? All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good convention.
It's not an issue. They don't do that at this. That's only in breakout, so there won't be constitution and national council. Which begs the question why they have to have it.
Make the pitch to the policy chair. Well, no, the rule on vote is subject to the chair's discretion. On exercising discretion not to accept the minutes. Who's chairing policy? You sure? Okay, maybe talk to Mike's parliamentary and see if there's a way we can resolve it.
Good, man. Nice to see you.
Congratulations.
You just talked to us.
Lord tells me. No.
Well, that's
I am just a positive. I expect a positive thing. And you were my number one choice. So that I just assumed that the Lord would have me vote.
Chers délégués, êtes-vous prêts pour la Constitution? Are you ready for Constitution?
Good morning, delegates. My name is Catherine Marshall, and I'm thrilled to be co-chairing this morning's Constitution plenary session. For those of you who don't know me, I am a lawyer, a columnist with the National Post, a purveyor of snarky comments on Twitter, and I have sued the CBC twice in the past 6 months. And lastly, I am thrilled to be joined here on stage this morning by a good friend to all, no stranger to anyone here, former party president, Rob Batherson. Over to you, Rob.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Catherine. And I know if you can't hear me, we'll have 2,000 of our closest friends remind me of that. Je suis bien content de présider cette plénière avec toi ce matin. Comme disait Catherine, mon nom est Rob Batherson, fier candidat dans Halifax-Ouest lors des dernières élections et président de ce merveilleux parti de 2021 à 2023. Je travaille en affaires publiques en Nouvelle-Écosse. I work in communications, and what I just saw from Catherine Marshall is rule number one in effective communication: know your audience. Nothing better in a conservative audience than a good CBC lawsuit line. Je suis très heureux de retrouver ma belle famille conservatrice ici à Calgary et mettons-nous au travail.
Okay, thank you for that. We are also joined on stage this morning by our parliamentarian, Michael Wilson. And a representative of National Constitution Committee, Deb Jansen. And we hope that all the delegates today were able to pick up an amended printed copy of the proposed amendments we are going to debate this morning, right? Excellent. They are available at the entrance, and the PowerPoint slides that you will see on the screens throughout the room may not contain the entirety of the submission. So it's important that you have a copy of the amended proposed amendments.
As Catherine alluded, some slides have been trimmed to fit the screen space. All new text is included, however. Some deleted, unaltered, or unaffected text may not be displayed. Please refer to the printed document that was handed out for the submission text in its entirety. Certaines diapositives de cette présentation ont été coupées pour s'adapter à l'espace disponible sur l'écran. Tout le nouveau texte est inclus, mais certains textes supprimés, non modifiés ou non affectés peuvent ne pas être affichés. Veuillez vous référer au document imprimé pour le texte de la soumission dans son intégralité. Okay, we have our voting devices. Nous avons nos appareils de vote. Nous avons aussi des appareils de traduction simultanée. And I'd like to remind delegates, please be seated. Seating is at a premium because the Conservative Party of Canada is so popular. We have so many delegates. So if you're an observer and you have a seat, please cede your seat to a voting delegate so we can ensure that every vote gets counted. For our workshop, or for our plenary session, unlike the workshop session yesterday, amendments will be adopted by the double majority rule. So the double majority rule, which is set out in our Constitution, states that we need a majority of delegates voting in favor, but we also need a majority of delegates in a majority of the provinces. And for the purpose of vote counting, we have 10 provinces, and the 3 territories are considered one province. So that is the double majority. We need at least 6 jurisdictions voting in favor. Now, we'll now proceed to our first proposed amendment. I'd ask the sponsoring EDA from Burnaby North Seymour to proceed to the microphone. Our sponsor will be allowed 60 seconds. We'll then permit a second pro speaker of 30 seconds, up to 2 no speakers of 30 seconds each, and then we will have an opportunity for a 30-second rebuttal from the sponsor. And for those of you who attended Quebec City and the convention last year, you know I will be the good cop, and Catherine Marshall will be very effective in holding you to your time.
Remember, guys, brevity is a virtue.
And that's a lawyer who said that, so take her advice. She's giving it for free, no invoice required. Okay, C1, do we have Burnaby North Seymour, Resolution C1?
Yes, we do. Ian Provan, Burnaby North Seymour. This proposal develops what our Constitution already says, that each EDA is responsible for the administration of the candidate selection process in its own electoral district. Our proposal simply specifies a few of the implications. First, we must know the applicants who wish to represent us in Parliament, which means seeing their application packages and interviewing them. And secondly, our wishes about which applicants should become candidates must be respected unless there are exceptional circumstances. And when the National Committee does wish to override the EDA, it must explain why the circumstances are exceptional, and the EDA should have the right of appeal. There's nothing radical in all this. It's simply about stating in the Constitution some core implications of what it already says. But if these implications are not stated, recent experience demonstrates that legitimate EDA rights in our party will continue to be eroded. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a second yes speaker? Deuxième orateur, de oui.
Thank you. Patrick Hanlon, St. John's East. To quote Pierre, our leader, last night, obviously, elections teach us lessons like, for example, the need to hold earlier and open nominations, to have more local autonomy, to empower our local riding associations. They are the backbone of our organization. That's exactly what Pierre said. This is exactly what this mission does. It makes sense. Vote in favor of it.
Thank you, merci. We'll now proceed to 2 no speakers. 2 orateurs pour le non.
Sylvia Farron, Signal Hill. Do we want a constitution as thick as the BNA Act, or as detailed as the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, or do we want fair, effective, and democratic nominations? Tough choice. What will win the next election? Win back angry members and donors? Do we protect our Constitution or protect our EDAs? Tough choice. There are so many issues in the last nomination. You can't cover them all in one amendment. Tough choice.
Thank you. Second no speaker, deuxième orateur pour le non.
Liam O'Brien, Central Newfoundland, the other Gord Talk. Just want to say that this is all born out of trouble from last year's appointments of nominated candidates, which most people in this room were probably frustrated with. But there's problematic wording in here. It's too prescriptive. 48 hours at exactly the same time sounds like something out of a checklist to launch a nuclear missile. And we are trying to overly prescribe process of minutia. We shouldn't do that in the Constitution. We're conservatives. Liberals do that. NDPers do that. We don't do that. Vote no.
30-second rebuttal, réponse de 30 secondes.
I'm always amazed when those gentlemen stand up, because on the one hand, nothing is ever too detailed enough, and on the other hand, it's, too detailed. It's just a ridiculous objection. The Constitution is about enshrining our core principles. This is all about respect for EDAs, for gosh sakes, and that's in our Constitution. We have to put these other things there if we want to protect the Constitution and our EDA's rights. It's very simple. Please vote yes.
Thank you. On va procéder maintenant à la vote. We'll now proceed to the vote. Please get your devices and vote either yay or nay. Oui ou non, yes or no, per the instructions given by our friend from Lumi, our technology provider. Je déclare la vote ouverte. I declare the voting is now commenced.
What's the next one?
Next one is
Maybe we'll just like go one at a time.
yeah, sure, that works. Good. So, there you go, C11. Hi. Okay. Thank you.
So I just say, like, okay, the next proposal is C11,
C11 and ask Calgary Center to.
and then ask her to speak to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't have to say what it is. Okay. Cool, cool. I don't even know.
So who looks after the kids? Are you and Hayden? Sure.
We have a nanny,
Oh, that's great. That's great.
lifesaver.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any family in town.
On va fermer la vote. We are closing the vote. Oh,
Oh, there's.
okay. La première vote est affirmative. We'll now see if we have a double majority. A double majority has been achieved. La motion est adoptée. Motion carried. Catherine?
Okay, our next proposal is C11. Do we have a member, a representative from Calgary Centre to speak to it?
Yes. Joseph Bouchard from Calgary Centre. So everyone here agrees we want a Conservative majority government. Fortunately, we didn't get to that point. So this proposal, it's about how to get us to that point. More specifically, it amends the responsibilities of National Council twofold. So first of all, overseeing the electoral readiness of the party, and then conducting a post-mortem following every election. Look, we need to learn from the mistakes we made so we don't make them again. That's how we'll win the next election. That's how we'll get a Conservative majority government. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Chris Moen, Calgary Crowfoot, speaking in support of this resolution. It is a simple amendment that is a rather needed amendment for basically doing postmortems and redirecting us to be constantly in election readiness. An election can happen anytime, and we need to be ready. So please support this motion. Thank you. Have a great AGM.
And thanks to everyone for being so brief today so far. This is great. Okay, do we do another yes?
Do we have no speakers? Orateur pour le no? Any no speakers? Folks, if you want to speak.
We got one.
Hi, Scott Newson, and I'm a ladysmith. My only concern with this is the publication to the party membership, which will effectively be public in a reasonably short amount of time. I'm all for postmortems. I'm not sure about publishing them. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
One more no speaker.
One more. Is there another no speaker? This is your chance. Oh. No? No, that was a... You were just walking by. Okay.
30-second rebuttal.
Okay, 30-second rebuttal.
Transparency is a core Conservative value. That's what makes us different from the Liberal Party. we're the party of openness, and we really owe it to every volunteer, every member, everyone that donated to the Conservative campaign to really show them that, well, they matter. They deserve to know what went wrong, so we don't make the same mistakes again, and so we can give them all a Conservative majority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Voting open?
Okay. Voting will open now.
People are being really, they're being efficient. Nobody wants to get cut off.
Okay, yeah.
Your reputation precedes you. Think about it.
Okay, just look down.
As soon as he starts speaking, I put my hand.
And you just make sure that it's one after. Basically, it's a simple amendment, one after another. It'll be very simple. Just basically the national policy. Someone to go through the policy declaration. It'll be very simple.
Okay, the vote is closed.
Okay. There's a double majority. Let's see. Motion adopté. Motion carried. On va procéder maintenant à la résolution C12.5. We'll move now to resolution C12.5 from the electoral district of Foothills. I'll recognize the EDA of Foothills, and please introduce yourself and your electoral district.
My name is Rachel Enns from Vernon Lake Country, Monashee. I've been delegated to speak to this.
Floor is yours.
I'm a two-term member of the National Policy Committee. I'm a former member of the National Constitution Committee. NPC and NCC shepherd the process to bring policies and constitution amendments to convention. But we're excluded from having a voice on the Convention Planning Committee. This proposal will ensure one NPC-NCC member will have a voice to offer perspective in how convention is scheduled and structured. NPC and NCC communicate regularly to EDAs about the entire process. Being included on the Planning Committee will enable us to communicate well with EDAs. Thank you. Vote yes.
Thank you. Y a-t-il un deuxième orateur pour le oui? Second yes speaker. 30 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Gabriel Terrio from Richmond, Arthabasca. As a three-term member of National Policy Committee and a two-term member of Constitution Committee, I could tell you that this proposal is very good for us. It will allow us to have a bona fide say on how the affairs of Constitution and policy will be conducted during convention. Vote for that. You will never regret that.
Merci, Monsieur Thériault. Thank you. We'll now proceed to up to two no speakers. Orateur pour le non. 30 secondes.
Gortalk, Red Deer. I would urge all of the voting delegates here to take a careful read of the resolution. Grammatically, it's a mess. I'd like to have them explain to me who's actually doing the electing and what actually they're able to vote on. Are they able to vote on just on committees that have been selected to manage this? I understand the intent entirely. I agree with this, what they're trying to do. This needs to be properly written and properly vetted for 2 years from now. Please vote this down. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a second no speaker? Okay, second no speaker. Okay, we'll allow for a 30-second rebuttal. Réponse to 30 secondes.
Levi Dirksen, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek.
With respect to Gord Tulk's intervention there, this proposal has one member of the National Policy Committee, one member of the National Constitution Committee to be a full voting member of the Convention Planning Committee. We want collaborative working between the different committees that are democratically elected. Please vote yes for this proposal for collaborative working together on our committees. Thank you very much. Please vote yes.
Thank you, Mr. Dirksen. We will now proceed to the vote. La vote va commencer maintenant.
Point of order. Could we have the volume turned up a bit? It's very difficult to hear in the back.
No, thank you very much. And we'll ask our technical support to pump up the volume. Sorry, showing my Gen X ways here. We do need to do better in that demographic, so, you know, whatever works. Okay, for our technical support, can we get the vote to open? I'm getting some calls out from the audience that it's not open. Okay. Voting is now open. La vote est ouverte. Voting is now closed. La vote est terminée. We have the first majority threshold satisfied, and now we'll do, and as you see there, a double majority has been satisfied. Motion carried. Motion adoptée.
Our next resolution is C16 with the sponsoring EDA Carlton Trail Eagle Creek. May we please have a speaker?
Kelly Block, Carlton Trail Eagle Creek. To be prepared for and win the next election, we need to nominate top quality hardworking candidates. Having a national nomination schedule will help attract these candidates. Additionally, a national nomination schedule will help our hard-working party officials plan for and execute rigorous and fair nominations across Canada. This proposal is intentionally silent on many details. There are many variables that can impact nominations, and I don't believe the Constitution needs to be so prescriptive as to tie the hands of our officials. I do believe, however, we need to have a schedule which will attract strong candidates and strengthen our party's electoral chances in the future. Vote for this amendment.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. 30 seconds.
Sorry, just need to move this up a little bit. There's a bit of a height differential. Chris Battleluck, Edmonton Northwest. I think everyone who's been a member of this party and attended conventions in the past will recognize we're always told the importance of door knocking. We need our candidates scheduled to be nominated so we can get them out there at the doors, interacting with our voters and our constituents as early as possible. Please support the resolution.
Thank you. Okay, please speak. 30 seconds.
Liam O'Brien, Central Newfoundland. I think the message is heard loud and clear here from everybody that we didn't like the way things went last time. Message received. There is a comprehensive set of nomination rules that lays things out, and it's built on grassroots consultation. Every time we do something like this, we bend it out of shape. I think we're much better off to not prescribe minutia when we have so many factors to consider when scheduling nominations. Thank you. Vote no.
Okay. Thank you. Is there another speaker for the no side? No? Okay, rebuttal, please.
Levi Dirksen, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek. We need a national nomination schedule. In the current rules recently updated by National Council, which are much better, it gives it until October 2027 for the executive director to call nominations with no consultation with the local EDAs. We need a national schedule so we can have a strong majority government led by Pierre Poilievre from coast to coast to coast with great candidates. Please vote for this proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. The vote is open. I'm so glad you're here. I'll have you, like, maybe declare the speaker. Sure. Okay. Vote is closed.
La vote est fermée. So we have a first majority threshold satisfied. We'll now go to the double majority, and the double majority has been achieved. Motion adoptée, motion carried. On va maintenant procéder à la résolution C23. We'll now proceed to resolution C23, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek. Do we have our speaker from Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek? Very well. 60 seconds, 60 secondes.
Josh Boys, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek. Our party hires outside organizations to support the work of the party, especially during leadership races. We believe it's an oversight that the neutrality requirement that extends to party staff and other appointed and elected officials does not also cover third parties in a contractual relationship with the party. We believe that we have a strong leader and believe that he will receive. As such, now is the time to make this addition to our Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a second yes speaker? Deuxième oratoire pour le oui.
Just a quick point of order. If I could beg of the chair to remind the attendees to keep the table talk a little lower. It's quite loud back here.
No, thank you very much, Gord Tulk. I know Tories love to talk. If you want to talk, and it hasn't, Tories love to talk. If you're not here to be respectful of our delegates who are here to debate and vote, please take the conversation outside.
Thank you. Gord Tulk, Red Deer. When we have our leadership votes, we hire an accounting firm, let's say Deloitte Touche or one of those companies, and they are contractually obligated not to take sides, not to lean one way or the other. Otherwise, legal action can be taken against them. What this resolution does is it broadens that kind of approach for all of our other electoral processes, so we can hold the CBC or Canada. We're never going to contract the CBC.
5 seconds.
I take that back. I think you understand what I'm saying. Please support this very well-reasoned resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, orateur pour le non. No speakers. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, the idea behind this is good. But
your name, sir?
Oh, Joseph Richaud, Calgary Central. So the idea behind this is good, but it's too overreaching. So, for example, I'm a software developer at a tech company with about 10,000 employees. I'm sure that this company is contracted by the party in various ways. I'm not involved in that at all, but this is so overreaching, I wouldn't even be allowed to vote in a leadership election. Thank you.
Thank you. Deuxième orateur pour le non, second no speaker.
Ori Rubin, York Centre. We're voting on the amendment as written, perhaps not as the proponents of this would have wished it was written. This is so broad that it would encompass all the banks, which all have contracts, Rogers Communications, Canada Post, Microsoft. We're looking, I did some quick back of the envelope math, you're looking at over 500,000 Canadians.
Time. Thank you. 30-second rebuttal, réplique de 30 secondes.
Levi Dirksen, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek. My understanding is that this proposal would apply when you have a direct conflict of interest and a direct involvement. If you are seeing the results and auditing the results of the leadership race, you should be required to be neutral. If that is the intent of this proposal, please vote in favor of neutrality. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Point of order.
Point of order.
Yeah, thank you. Daniel Blackmore, Cape Spear. When we were discussing this yesterday, a lot of the dialogue was discussing parties being contracted by the Conservative Party of Canada itself. The wording in this does not include entities contracted by the party. It's individual sub-organs of the party. So there's no wording in here referencing entities contracted by the party as a whole.
That is not a point of order.
It's also not correct.
Do we have... We'll declare voting open. Vote open. La vote ouverte.
I will, yes.
La vote est fermée. Voting is closed.
Point of order on the vote. Our table, they're scrolling. They're not recording our vote. Can we redo it? It's still.
Can we have some technical support?
I'm going to confirm that from my table. Okay. I second the point of order. In that area of the room, we're having the same problem.
Okay. Can we get some technical support over to folks on that side of the room, please? Okay. We are getting support over there. Okay. We're going to redo the vote on C23 out of respect to the delegates who are experiencing some technical difficulty. Thank you for raising that. That was a point of order. Yeah. Please stand by. We will reopen the vote once we are satisfied that the technical difficulties have been addressed. And you may be wondering, I'm checking my phone up here. Am I not hanging on every word in terms of the debate? I am getting some very important updates from Halifax, where my son is a goaltender for his hockey team, the Halifax Hawks. My wife is sending updates. It is a 1-1 tie. So I ask all my Conservative friends to give some good vibes to the Halifax Hawks U15A. The beauty of the 3-hour time difference was, I was able to watch the game online Wednesday night, but if I watched the game now, I couldn't experience all my rowdy Tory Constitution friends today. So. Vote is not open. We're just working on those technical difficulties. Yeah. It is being worked on as we speak. And while we do that, if you would beg my indulgence just for another 30 seconds while the technical difficulties are being worked on, we had a lovely tribute this morning to members of the Conservative family that we have lost since the last election. Being a Nova Scotian and being someone who was born on Cape Breton Island, I'd also like to pay tribute to the late, great Alfie MacLeod. Alfie was a Conservative for 50 years. He was a former Speaker of the Nova Scotia Legislature, former MLA, and also was our Conservative Party of Canada candidate in the riding of Cape Breton-Canso under the leadership of Andrew Scheer. So give a thought and love to the memory of Alfie MacLeod and his family.
Thank you.
We will now open the vote. La vote est ouverte.
Oh, good. Garnett's going to speak. Garnett's going to speak. It's not a convention.
Yeah.
That was a nice tribute.
Voting is now closed. La vote est terminée. Okay, the first threshold has not been satisfied, so the motion is defeated. And just for reference sake, we'll have a look at the province-by-province breakdown. Okay, thank you.
Okay, our next resolution is C25, the sponsoring EDA's Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan. May we please have a speaker?
Patty Marler, Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan. In the lead up to past elections, sitting MPs who are in good standing with their caucus colleagues and their constituents have been threatened with undemocratic removal of their ability to be a candidate announced at the last minute. The aim of this proposal is to ensure that members of Parliament will be able to confidently represent their constituents. MPs must be able to speak to issues without fear of reprisal and removal from running again because of backroom politics. The addition of this provision would protect a sitting MP from undemocratic removal by ensuring that the only way an MP, a sitting MP, can be removed from running again is by resignation, a vote of member constituents, or a vote of caucus colleagues, the two bodies that MPs should be accountable
Thank you.
to.
Next speaker, 30 seconds.
Garda Jenna, Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan. Folks, thank you. During the COVID period, we had good MPs who had won nominations, who had the support of local members and of their colleagues, who were threatened or removed undemocratically at the last minute. That should not happen. This resolution does not eliminate nomination challenges. It very much allows and encourages that, but it prevents undemocratic backroom removal.
Thank you. And honestly, it wouldn't be a convention if Garnet did not take the mic. That was great. Okay. The no side.
Gord Talk, Red Deer, with all due respect with the MP. This, just read it. It says a sitting member of parliament will be a candidate, and then subsequently says has been defeated in a nomination. If he's already going to be the candidate, there is no nomination. It's conflicting language. It overrules all the other nomination rules. The MP can stay on for as long as they choose. This abrogates all the idea of having some kind of democratic accountability within the party and with the riding.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, 30 seconds.
Liam O'Brien, Central Newfoundland. The current nomination process, incurring the possibility of disallowing a candidate, is the one that was designed after the merger that founded this party, and it was designed in a way that acknowledged that there are controversial things that happen, and sometimes we could have an embarrassing candidate. And this proposes to say, no, these members of parliament are entitled to this, absent the vetting, absent the process we've been using, and that could be very dangerous, on top of the fact that it is incoherent, as Gord has pointed out.
Thank you.
Please vote no.
Thank you. All right, 30-second rebuttal.
Yeah, with great respect, I don't think my friend Gord has quite read it correctly. What it says is that a sitting member of parliament will be a candidate unless they have announced their resignation, been removed by a majority vote of caucus, or been defeated in a nomination in which they were eligible to run. This is very much in line with democratic nominations. And if there is a problem with a sitting member of parliament, they can, and this has happened, be removed from caucus by a vote of caucus. This is the democratic process that respects the work we have to do while making us accountable to our colleagues and our constituents.
All right, thank you.
Voting is now open. La vote est ouverte. La vote est terminée. Voting is now closed. The first majority threshold satisfied. We'll now see the double majority. Double majority satisfied. Motion adoptée. Motion carried. All right, we'll now proceed to the next resolution, which is C26, la résolution C26. The sponsoring EDA is Calgary Crowfoot.
Thank you. My name is Jim Palmer with Calgary Crowfoot. I'm speaking to Section 13. Section 13 puts together the National Policy Committee. It tells us how that is comprised. It also tells us that they have to make out a ballot for us for the next convention. However, there's a gap. It misses what the committee is supposed to do. So this resolution is basically to put in a mandate. Proposition 1030 requires the National Policy Committee to perform a holistic assessment of the policy declaration, ensure it's concise, resolutions are accurate, appropriately categorized, and there are no redundancies. We want to make sure that the National Policy Committee approaches this task, and it is done with a complete and consistent manner every time.
5 seconds. Thank you. Second yes speaker, deuxième orateur pour le oui, 30 secondes, 30 seconds.
Gord Talk, Red Deer. This is a long overdue thing we need to add to our Constitution. We've been operating for almost, 21 years without having this place. I will point out the key operative here is there's a yes or no paper ballot. Any changes and edits that this committee would put together and bring to us, we still democratically get to decide whether it actually changes in our Constitution, or policy book, sorry. Please support this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. Orateur pour le non, no speakers, 30 seconds.
Levi Dirksen, Carlton Trail, Eagle Creek. I fully support this proposal. However, it is already in the Constitution in 13.7 and 13.8. The National Policy Committee prepared a simple yes-no ballot, which you will be voting on this afternoon with 8 spent or redundant items. That is what the Constitution already said. Please vote no, because we don't need it in a third time in the Constitution. It needs to be a coherent document, and this proposal adds it in redundancy into our Constitution.
Thank you.
Second no speaker, deuxième orateur pour le non, 30 secondes, 30 seconds.
Thank you. Al Sebring, Ponoka Didsbury. Folks, be careful what you wish for. In the social policy session yesterday, there was a discussion about deleting Clause 86 on abortion because, as the rationale said, the policy is internally inconsistent. Do we want to create situations where we're putting the committee into a position of making the call on this, bringing it back here for another discussion, and having those discussions over and over and over again? We don't need this.
5 seconds. Thank you. Merci. 30-second rebuttal. Réplique de 30 secondes.
Hi there, Chris Moe and Calgary Crowfoot. With regards to the previous speakers, what we need to do is we need to have a clear, concise policy document. This further reinforces, and you still get to have a paper ballot vote. This just further reinforces the National Policy Committee's work, and so I would encourage you to do it as well too. Every time you got Gord Tulk and myself, Chris Moen, it is a really good opportunity. Thank you. Please vote yes.
Thank you. Voting is now open. La vote est ouverte.
And then we'll go through one by one electronic ballots. Yeah. Requires to. Okay. Yes or no? Yep. Yes. Non-debatable. Okay. Thank you.
Page 33 of the handbook.
Yep. So we have a bunch of these handout ballots to do. And so they're non-debatable. They're just straight up yes or no. So I can walk through the process. Okay. Yeah.
Voting is now closed. La vote est terminée. Motion defeated. La motion est défaite. Chers délégués, fellow delegates, we've now completed the Constitution plenary. I am going to put a question to the room as to whether you wish to deal with, at the back of your package, you will see that we have the Article 13.8 from the Constitution proposals. These are for editing of the policy declaration, and it is covered off in our Constitution under Article 13.6. And 13.6 states that a national convention, a policy resolution must receive a majority of votes cast by delegates and a majority of votes cast by delegates from each of a majority of individual provinces. For the purpose of this provision, the territories together shall constitute one province. That's the double majority rule. The 13.8 proposals are in adherence with 13.8 of the Constitution, which states the Conservative Party of Canada's National Policy Committee will prepare a simple yes or no paper or electronic ballot to present to the membership at each convention so members can vote on the committee's recommendations for removal of redundant or otherwise invalid policies. So in your package, these proposals were approved by the National Policy Committee on the October 30th, 2025 meeting with this motion. Motion 2025-10-8, motion to approve the proposals of redundant or otherwise invalid policies as circulated to send to National Council and the Convention Committee for a vote at the Convention per Section 13.8 of the Constitution. Now, at past conventions, we've had a paper ballot. At this convention, we have the electronic opportunity for ease, and since we do have 45 minutes left in the allotted time for plenary, is it the wish of the room that we can proceed with voting on these proposals? These proposals are non-debatable, however, so these will be strict up and down votes with the test of the double majority. Is it the will of the room? The chair recognizes the speaker.
Point of order?
Yes, sir.
So in the package, the one that you outlined first is the Constitution, so that would be appropriate. But according to the agenda, people would expect policy to be in the policy section. And so we've advertised that. So I'm all in favor of the constitutional proposal, but I'm afraid that if people look at the agenda, it's unfair to talk about policies in a non-policy session.
Okay. So that is why I put the question out to the room. I'm also happy to, with the support of our technical people, if we wish to have a vote as to whether to proceed with debating 13.8. And we're a Democratic Party, so if our party decides we want to do the up and down policy votes under 13.8, we can do those now. If not, we can defer those to the policy plenary. Are we agreed on the approach? Okay. Are our technical people ready for a vote? Okay. Voting is now open. La vote est ouverte. Again, just for clarity, this is whether we can proceed with voting on the 13.8 proposals in the handout. Voting is now open. Oui ou non, yes or no. Oh. Sir?
Hello. LC bring Penoka. Just a point of clarification. When these votes happen, is it an omnibus vote on all the constitutional pieces, or do we pull them all out one at a time, or can we remove any from the omnibus vote?
No. No, sorry, sir.
I'm just wondering what the process is. I'm not arguing for anything.
Just 1 minute, please.
Sure.
Thank you, sir. For clarity, we'll be dealing with each proposal one at a time. Not
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Voting is open. La vote est terminé. Voting is closed. Motion carried. La motion adoptée. Please refer to your package and we'll move up on screen to our different Article 13.8 proposals. The first one is proposal number 1. Update and move the pensions policy. Page 34, page 34. Voting is now open.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay.
So when we're done,
Yeah.
we wrap up, thank the volunteers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah, and just say like, hey, Ruben, say Ruben.
Excuse me, point of order.
Go ahead, Levi.
I just wanted to give a little bit of background to the delegates regarding this as part of the committee that came forward with these proposals. They are not intended to be controversial in any way. We had a lot more controversial stuff we discussed, but we did the low-hanging fruit of spent or redundant items in our policy declaration. The next one up for debate, for example, is moving a paragraph from one area in the policy declaration to another area in the policy declaration with no change to wording.
Okay, that is not a point of order.
Okay.
The vote is closed. La vote est terminée.
Point of order, please.
Your name, sir?
Michael Malolos, Calgary McKnight. Yeah, just a quick question what a yes vote means. Yes vote, are we keeping it, or yes, we're getting rid of it?
These are edits to the National Policy Declaration, and voting is now closed. It's not a point of order.
Oh.
First majority threshold has been satisfied. Et voici la double majorité. The double majority threshold has been satisfied. Motion carried. Motion adopté. Proposal number 2, regional development. Move paragraph to align with more appropriate policies. Voting is now open. La vote est ouverte.
fun. You're doing God's work. Timestamp? Alibi. So you can walk it back.
Voting is now closed. Le vote est terminé. It's the first round. Double majorité, double majority achieved, motion carried, motion adopté. We'll move now to proposal number 3, merge similar energy policies. Proposition numéro 3, fusionner les politiques énergétiques similaires. Voting is now open.
Excuse me, Chair, point of clarification, if I may.
Go ahead.
So,
your name, sir?
Gord Tulk Red Deer, thank you. I'm seeing in this, it says, we believe the government must establish National Commission on Energy Security. I'm not seeing where they took that wording from. I understand moving around wording, but I don't see this wording being moved from somewhere else, or maybe I'm missing that.
Yeah,
it seems like an addition to me.
So I would encourage you to have an offline conversation with member of the National Policy Committee, but these are non-debatable proposals.
Understood. That's why it was a point of clarification.
Thank you. Voting is now open. Le vote est ouvert. Anyway. Yeah. Well, I did ask Billy Joe was a conservative when he saged died this week. Like I can't do every conservative who's died across it. Yeah, yeah. Le vote est terminé. The voting is now closed. There's the first vote threshold achieved. Double majority achieved, double majorité, motion carried, motion adoptée. On va maintenant procéder à la proposition numéro 4. We'll now go to proposal number 4, delete duplicate wording, international trade. Supprimer un libellé redondant, commerce international. Voting is now open. Yeah, just.
Emma, are those tilted chairs not set? Sorry? No, it's fine. I better see her from the front, but that's okay. It is okay. Okay, where are you? Oh, I understand what you mean. Okay, okay, perfect. Yes, no, that's, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, no. I was like, we should leave them on him.
Le vote est terminé. Voting is now closed. First threshold satisfied. Double majority achieved, double majorité, motion adoptée. We'll now proceed to proposal number 5, la proposition numéro 5, move wording in the post-secondary education paragraph. Réorganiser le paragraphe de la section sur l'éducation postsecondaire. Voting is now open. Le vote est ouvert. Voting is now closed. Le vote est terminé. First voting threshold satisfied. Nous avons une double majorité. The double majority has been achieved. Motion carried. Motion adopté. Proposition numéro 6, proposal number 6, remove the criminal code policy already in place. Supprimer la politique sur le code criminel déjà en vigueur. Voting is now open. Le vote est ouvert. Voting is now closed. Le vote est terminé. First threshold satisfied for adoption. And as you see, double majority achieved. Double majorité satisfaite. Motion adoptée, motion carried. Proposition numéro 7, proposal number 7, remove the young offender policy already in place. Supprimer la politique sur les jeunes contrevenants déjà en vigueur. Voting is now open. Le vote est ouvert. Le vote est terminé. Voting is now closed. First threshold satisfied. Double majorité, double majority achieved. La motion est adoptée. Motion carried. Our last proposal, notre proposition finale, numéro 8, number 8, merge duplicate Internet policy. Fusionner les politiques redondantes sur Internet. Voting is now open. Le vote est ouvert. Le vote est terminé. Voting is now closed. First vote threshold satisfied. Tensions on. We have a double majority. Double majorité. Merci beaucoup, chers délégués. Thank you, delegates. Great respectful debate. We got through our Constitution plenary. We got through our Article 13.8 proposals. I'd like to thank my co-chair, Catherine Marshall, notre co-présidente extraordinaire, Catherine Marshall, our parliamentarian, Michael Wilson, our ranking National Constitution Committee member, Deb Jansen, and our technical support and all the volunteers who made this Constitution plenary go so well. Before I turn things over to Catherine, we have some breaking news from the Civic Center in Halifax. The Halifax Hawks defeated the Pictou County Crushers 2-1. 2-1. And when you're a goalie dad, there's no better news other than a shutout than a 2-1 victory. So over to you, Catherine.
Well, thank you, everyone. Everyone was so brief today. I loved it. So please stay where you are because we have a very special speaker at 11:30, Danielle Smith. So don't leave. You won't want to miss it. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
It is now our honor to welcome a proud Albertan, a principled Conservative, and a respected voice within the Conservative Party. Someone who works every day to stand up for rural communities, families, and Canadian values. And he's my mama's favorite.
Please join us in welcoming. Joignez-vous à nous pour accueillir un homme de principe, un vrai conservateur, Damien Carrack.
Thank you all for that very warm welcome. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate being in a huge room filled with dedicated Conservatives from coast to coast. And folks, what a weekend. We know that, led by Pierre Poilievre, a united Conservative Party has come out of this weekend telling Canadians that we are ready to govern and fix the problems that the Liberals have created over the last decade in this country. My friends, truly, it is time for hope. I haven't had a moment of doubt since my wife, Danielle, and I did what we did, that Pierre Poilievre is the right man to lead this country forward. Seeing him connect with millions of Canadians across this country, I know that we are with the right man. He has inspired so much hope and optimism in Canadians who are sick and tired of a Liberal government that exists simply to help themselves. You know, from the general election to going from small town to small town in Battle River Crowfoot, I got to see firsthand how desperate the people are to see the Conservatives in government under a Prime Minister, Pierre Poilievre. And folks, a story to emphasize that. We started one of the days during the by-election campaign in Oyen, Alberta, small town of about 700. Like, man, we need to make a few stops along the way. So we texted the mayor of Delia, Alberta, town of about 150, just a little town, and said, hey, we'll be by in about half an hour. We'd love to meet and connect with some folks on Main Street. So we pull into town, and I've been to Delia a whole bunch of times. And I've maybe seen, one, two, maybe 3 or 4 vehicles on Main Street. Well, Main Street was packed. I said, well, my goodness, what's going on? Well, between that half an hour from when we had texted the mayor saying that Pierre was going to stop by, more than 100 people, doubled the population of Delia, I think, stopped by the local restaurant, and we heard for the next couple of hours story after story of how people were desperate for that hope, desperate for change. And folks, every step of the way, whether in Delia, Alberta during the by-election, or every day since Pierre Poilievre has been leader of this party, that is the hope that he brings to this nation and as leader of this Conservative movement. And it is great to see that the Conservative movement remains united and driven in its mission to get Canada back on track with hope and common sense. Look, folks, speaking of common sense, I have the honor to introduce someone who has long been dedicated to this Conservative movement, who knows what it is to be a fighter, particularly here in Alberta. Premier Danielle Smith. She fights for the values and freedoms that Canadians cherish and never backs down, even in the most challenging of circumstances. She is in the arena every single day, pushing back on the Liberal government to deliver results for both Alberta and Canada. And friends, that means fighting for freedom of expression. That means fighting for sane policies on crime so that we stop giving criminals an easy out that are the policies that are making our communities less safe. And it means fighting to build and getting Alberta's energy out and to the world. She is a tireless worker, and man, does she work hard. She doesn't stop when her critics speak up, and folks, she is a believer in this country and someone who will always answer when public duty calls. Folks, I am honored to call Premier Smith my Premier, my colleague, but most of all, my friend. Please join me in giving an enormous welcome to Premier Danielle Smith.
Welcome to Damien, and a personal thank you to Damien for stepping aside to make room for our leader in the Parliament. That was incredible. Thank you for that. It is a true pleasure to welcome Conservatives from across the country to Calgary, into the heartland of conservatism in Canada. And also congratulations, of course, to our leader, Pierre Poilievre, who won 87% of the vote in last night's leadership review. Yeah. Oh, I want to thank all of the delegates here for giving our leaders such a strong mandate, because we are going to need Pierre strong to fight for our values and reverse the terrible policies of the last 10 years. Et félicitations à notre chef, Pierre Poilievre, qui a remporté 87% de voix lors de la révision de leadership tenue hier soir. Je remercie tous les délégués de lui avoir accordé un mandat aussi fort. Nous aurons besoin de chefs forts pour défendre nos valeurs et de renverser les politiques terribles des 10 dernières années. Et ce mandat est important pour le Québec aussi, car les choses que je vais discuter aujourd'hui sont importantes aux Québécois aussi. I just add a sentence every time I try. Gotta give it a whirl, right? From Peter Lougheed to Ralph Klein to Preston Manning and to the great Stephen Harper, and now to Calgary's own Pierre Poilievre, this province has a legacy of being the bastion of free thinking and economic strength since Alberta joined Confederation. But what I want to talk about today is the last 10 years. Because for 10 years, we saw a prime minister that did everything he could to devastate the West and drive our investment and jobs out while implementing radical activist policies that ramped up disorder and chaos. And it got worse over time when we saw the formation of a federal left-wing activist coalition government in Ottawa, led by then Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his friend, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, that were doing all they possibly could to choke off and ultimately destroy our province's energy and agriculture sectors. They also led an attack on provincial jurisdiction, energy, health, education, childcare, you name it, they wanted control over it. They placed a production cap on our nation's most valuable strategic asset, the Alberta oil sands, and along with it, an effective moratorium on the pipelines and oil tankers needed to take that oil to markets around the world. They put a Greenpeace activist, Stephen Guilbeault, thankfully no longer at the cabinet table, in charge of this assault on Canada's economy. And that is where the real damage to Canada was done by Justin Trudeau and his allies. They intruded on areas where the provinces have prime jurisdiction. They violated our Constitution and the very ties that bind Canada together in the name of top-down bureaucratic onslaught. Pierre Poilievre and our Conservatives believe in our Constitution, in leaving the provinces to be provinces, focusing on what the federal government needs to do. Things like bail reform and building projects and supporting jobs for Canadians. Like getting out of the way of investment and projects and building a new pipeline to the West Coast, a true nation-building project. Conservatives believe in enhancing economic opportunity for Indigenous communities by providing ownership stakes in assets that will create billions of dollars in revenue every single year, like pipelines and mines and countless other projects. Under Pierre's leadership, these projects would be no-brainers. The private sector would build them, and the provincial and federal governments would use the billions in royalty and tax revenue to fund critical services that Canadians rely on. You see, Conservatives supported building new pipelines long before the elbows up crowd, and they will support them long after all the elbows come down. As I've said many times before, we need to build pipelines to the west, to the east, to the north, and to the south. I would love, as the Prime Minister said, for pipelines to be boring again. I would love to just get them built. But it's not just about energy. Conservatives believe in fixing immigration, something that the federal government broke. Trudeau and his NDP friends ramped up immigration to an entirely unsustainable level, bringing in millions of new people on visas and putting up housing costs and putting a strain on healthcare and education and creating a national youth unemployment crisis. Now, make no mistake, immigration is so important to Canada's success. New Canadians from other countries have been essential for our economic prosperity and rich culture for over 150 years. And the rapid and But it's the rapid and unsustainable rate at which the federal government increased immigration that has damaged public programs and our economy, and it needs to return to the world-renowned system that it was under the leadership of Prime Minister Stephen Harper. On top of their mishandling of immigration and their attacks on our economy, they've completely overturned the social order of this nation with their woke, ideological justice policies such as the so-called safe supply of drugs, soft on crime bail and sentencing rules, and institutionalized censorship of free speech. Now, I've welcomed the stalwart defense of public order from Pierre and his caucus. He has always stood for the right to safety and freedom. Pierre has been advocating to fix the ridiculous bail laws that woke activists put in place, laws that continue to let repeat violent criminals back on the street instead of keeping them behind bars where they belong. These same criminals who are arrested half an hour after they get bail, like we recently saw in Lethbridge, where an accused criminal was released and immediately rearrested the same day for breaching his conditions. Conservatives believe in funding, not defunding the police. Conservatives believe in justice for victims, not excuses for the guilty and letting them roam free and to cause more havoc. And Conservatives believe in actually helping those with addiction through treatment, not free drugs for them to use in playgrounds and parks. And rather than taking guns and punishing law-abiding firearms, things we certainly won't be doing in Alberta, Conservatives there's a few gun owners out there. But it's because Conservatives believe in addressing the actual problem, the smuggling of illegal guns from outside Canada through the porous borders that Justin Trudeau created. Pierre also believes in protecting our women and girls and upholding fairness and safety, something that we've done here in Alberta, because Pierre, myself, and the majority of Canadians agree biological men do not belong in women's sports. Period. Canadians recognize that the left-wing activists have gone too far. They want order, they want justice, and they want to take their kids to a playground without worrying about discarded needles or addicts shooting up. Public safety is a cornerstone of society. When we can't guarantee that Canadians are safe in their own communities, it is a failure, one that any Conservative government would alleviate immediately, because the Conservative Party of Canada has strong leadership. Leadership with moral clarity, with a plan to restore Canada's economic leadership, to return Canada to an international economic engine, a stalwart defender of global freedom, and a place that holds true to the promise that if you work hard, you can get ahead. That is the leadership that Pierre Poilievre brings. That is the vision he has for Canada, and it's one that he learned right here in Alberta when he was growing up. I am proud to work with him, to be a member of this party under his leadership, and I know that he'll lead the Conservatives back to victory in the next election.
Merci, merci infiniment, Premier Ministre Smith. And especially, I want to thank you very much for your excellent French. Been very appreciated. Je suis certain que mes collègues francophones ont apprécié. Thank you, Premier Smith. And also, thank you for being such a strong voice for Alberta and for Conservatives.
And now, all you folks that are not Albertans know why this Premier is so popular here. We love her. We love you, Danielle. Okay, time for lunch. You've all worked hard. Just like yesterday, due to space restrictions in our meal hall, we are asking that you stick to your allotted lunchtime based on your last name. Noon, last name starts with A to F. 12:30 p.m., last name starts with G to M. 1 p.m., last name starts with N to Z. Please be cognizant of the limited seating and don't hold seats after you've eaten. There's lots of room to socialize in the exchange on the second floor. See you all after lunch.